Hello, Playful Warriors, and welcome to another episode of Climate for Fun, the podcast that turns climate change into a laughing matter. Here's Antonio Saliturio, climate scientist, writer, and comedian. I'm thrilled to have Ariel Maldonado with me today. Ariel is the founder of the Instagram page Go Green, Say Green, where you find memes and other fun yet educational content about climate change. The page is followed by nearly 70,000 people, if I remember correctly. Welcome, Ariel, and thanks for joining me.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Thanks a lot. Ready to laugh at climate change?
Yes, as always.
Sounds good. Okay, let's crack on with some question then. Let's start from your background, right? You have a bachelor degree in ceramics, so rather than behind a climate theme IG account, I would have pictured you behind a pottery wheel. I mean, anyway, could you please fill the technology gap here? Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say climate change. I'm 27 now, and I graduated when I was like 21, 22. Wow. And it wasn't until that age that I really started like paying attention. This was like in 2018, 2017 that I started really like actually paying more attention to this. And as I started paying more attention, I think the week that I graduated from my university is the week that I started my Instagram account. So it wasn't, I had no idea I was going to get this big or anything like that. And you actually find quite a lot of artists that do care about climate change. So the more artists that I've gotten to know, like outside of school, the more that I found there's actually a very big overlap between artists and people who speak up. Yeah.
Right. That sounds good. Cool. So, talking about
and I
pottery,
still do art.
Yeah. Because I'm interested about the artistic side. Yeah. So, talking about pottery, yeah, I was wondering if you ever made a climate meme based on God's famous scene, like because I think in that clip, Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze could be easily tagged as renewables and fossil fuels. Don't you think?
I definitely never have. Being there, I used to teach pottery, and I have so many people always come in my classroom. Oh my God, have you seen this movie? Have you seen? I have a video of me doing pottery while watching that scene.
Yeah, but it could be a fun, climate meme.
It could.
If you've never done it before, why not?
Yeah, I'll definitely have to consider it. I think I could make something.
Okay, I don't want any copyright. Yeah, don't worry. You can go for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you know, the web is filled up with memes of any kind, yeah? Plus, climate change is definitely not the most popular topic to laugh about, right? So, what's the secret behind a fun climate meme?
I think the secret is first you have to use a meme that is like easily recognizable. So sometimes when I make memes, I don't expect people to understand the content itself, but I understand people to I expect people to understand what I am trying to convey with the meme. So like, you know that certain memes mean that you're trying to put out a certain idea. And sometimes I use the power of like the meme to put out the science or to give people a better understanding of like the science. I also think like SpongeBob memes always do well. That's the secret for sure. Of course.
Okay. Yeah. That's, I need to check, more memes, but SpongeBob says the same. Works always as any kind. Yeah. But sometimes it's the visual aspect, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, though, I mean, there is a bit of a dark side, yeah? I wanna go into it. So, sadly, misleading and conspiracy climate memes are going viral on IG too. So, do you usually poke fun at those by making a sort of re-meme, or is it better to ignore them? What's your strategy on that?
I ignore them.
Okay.
And any memes that, I don't really like feel the need to address them. And any memes that I share, I try to back up with like scientific articles and information immediately attached to the meme. So that way, like, hopefully if you're like, I don't know what I can and can't believe, like an article is there. I always include like the title, the author. Usually I'm able to fit in like the source of it so that basically anybody who read what I wrote can go to like Google, type in the article title, and then they can like find everything themselves. And that way, if I am, lying or making things up, like you can definitely call me out on it. I definitely try to like share where I'm getting information from. So essentially, if anybody wanted to go down a rabbit hole based on something I posted, hopefully I've given them enough information to like go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
In hopefully a educational way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I appreciate your approach. I think that's the way to go. And it's the only way, really, to avoid what I call climate bullshitting, you know? You don't want to go, oh, greenwashing, if you like. So, by the way, I don't know if you know, but some university students are actually assessing the credibility of climate memes as part of one of their courses. I know you're not a climate scientist per se, but so how do you make sure your memes are scientifically accurate? You mentioned reference, yeah? But, you know, what's your process?
So, in that process, I actually have been interviewed by university students, like both graduate and undergraduate.
Okay.
Probably in total over the course of like 4 years, I think I've probably been interviewed by a university student at least once per year. I haven't this year. So if you're a university student, help me meet my quota. But I actually have been, and I've been a part of studies and stuff like that. So I might be in this.
Yeah, well, like you can that can count as your interview, but I can put you in touch with someone else, like a professor, which works in sustainability as well. So potentially you can tick the box this year as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, I definitely will take you up on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll let you know what on that. Okay. So yeah, go for it.
I make sure that my memes are accurate because normally when I'm like researching a topic, I typically don't just. In order to make a meme, you have to fully understand the topic, and for me to fully understand the topic, that means like because I don't have a science background myself, I think I come from a similar perspective as most audience members. So I'm coming from the background of like, I don't know anything about this. And the best way to explain something is to have a complete understanding of it, right? So if I want to make a meme on a certain topic, that means that I have to go in and like read maybe like five or so articles just to understand it fully. I try to kind of like read not just like news articles, but sometimes if I'm able to even get like abstracts from journals and stuff like that, I try to see where articles kind of like link to their sources. I kind of try to follow those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And then when I get to that point and I have like a very good understanding of it, that's when I make the meme. And then on top of that, because I've read so many articles, I kind of, as I'm reading them, I'm not just looking for my understanding, but I'm looking for like, which of these articles broke it down in the most accessible way that somebody that maybe doesn't have that background can understand. Because some articles, they don't really give you that much information. And then some of them are just, they're so in the weeds and so in depth. Like I can't take screenshots of like a scientific journal. Like nobody's going to read that, you know? No amount of news is going to.
No way.
Yeah. So I have to try to find which articles, like as I understand it, which ones will also help other people understand.
Okay, no, that makes sense, to be honest. Let's change topic. Like, so based on your IG experience, are memes more effective than reels to engage people in climate action? Just curious about that.
I don't know, because I don't know if I'll ever fully understand the impact in which I've gotten people to engage in climate action. Right. I have people that do occasionally tell me like, hey, you know, because of you or because of this page, or, you know, you're one of the factors that has made me do ABC, you know, but like if people don't tell me, I don't really know. And I don't know how to like gather that data in a way that would like make sense.
I guess a poll or something would help in that case, yeah? Maybe?
Yes, but then I've read too many scientific articles for me to just believe the power of self-reporting. People usually will like inflate what they've done.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I suppose it's about transparency, but you can do something like that. I mean, I could. Yeah. Well, okay, well, I'll let you work on that. Okay, so you live in Los Angeles, so you might be aware that because of climate change, California is experiencing different kinds of extreme weather. So you guys switched from tornadoes to heat waves as fast as my stomach reacts to California chili peppers. Now, do you try to make fun of these catastrophes, and if you do, how do you followers react?
Yeah, when it comes to specific tragedies or specific natural disasters, that's like a really fine line. I think there's actually a few topics that kind of fall into this category without getting too deep into it, where, I might not make fun of wildfires or certain things like maybe as they're happening, but like later down the line when you're making a joke, like I can joke about the relationship between wildfires and fossil fuel companies.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's okay, but definitely when it comes to like things in the moment, I try not to. I'm always worried about like how people are going to react. I never want to come across as like being insensitive towards maybe people's like worst moments. So it's something I'm super hyper aware of for sure, and I always am like, whenever I post a meme, I always try to be like, okay, how might this be misinterpreted? Because it's the internet, right? And you always have to be aware.
True.
And
True.
Yeah.
So no dark humor, stuff like that.
Sometimes at the right moments.
Okay, cool. It's time sensitive, let's say. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, again, big, massive change of topic. So when peeking at your LinkedIn profile, I read you're also a social media manager for a cannabis startup. Sorry, but I can't help asking, but are you doing this gig to boost your content creativity? I mean, the jokes aside, I know that cannabis is a very climate-friendly plant. So how much do you know about that?
So interestingly, I am actually no longer a social media manager for that startup. But I was.
Okay.
That was a pandemic job when everybody was like, "Oh my God, am I going to lose my job?" I was like, "Let me get another job." I wanted something that was remote, and so the cannabis social media manager was something I could do from home, and I had to make memes. So it made sense.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. So do you know much about it?
About cannabis?
Cannabis, sustainability of cannabis.
Yeah, I know that like hemp as part of the cannabis family, hemp is really good for soil remediation.
Okay.
And so like it definitely can pull out like toxic metals from the ground, like heavy metals and stuff like that. Yeah. And because hemp grows so quickly, the plant itself doesn't have like a tree, if the tree will absorb something over years and years and years, it'll become really dense in that tree. Yeah. But cannabis grows so fast that you can just kind of pull it out, put something new. And because the levels are so low, you're able to use that in like industrial senses. So like reasons why people might use hemp in industry might be stuff like hempcrete fibers, etc. And it's still good for that.
And I think it's not taking off because of the stigma, around that. Because, people hear hemp or cannabis, and then they think, you're just about drugs, legalizing drugs and stuff. But actually, the non-psychoactive part of the plant, it's very helpful, it's very sustainable. So, that's, you should make a meme. I don't know if you made a meme of that, but...
I do. Every 420, I make memes about cannabis.
Okay, that's good.
Even during like regular times, especially when it comes to like hemp and stuff, I absolutely talked about like hempcrete, like hemp fibers, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Right. So in one of your interviews, I read that you share your house with worms. So these guys struck a very good deal with you. They get to eat your leftover food and don't even pay rent. I mean, of course, I'm talking about vermicomposting. Right? I suspect many people might cringe at the idea of having worms in their place. So what would you say to make them change their mind?
I actually have gotten some people to change their mind, including some of my friends.
There you go.
I can actually speak on experience to this.
There you go.
I would say that first off is that I talk about the methane impacts for one.
Yeah.
So like food waste and methane, they go hand in hand, and methane is worse for heating the atmosphere than carbon dioxide is.
Yeah.
And so you're directly helping with that. Also, worms, they don't really like it out and about in the bright, like, dry places. So like the reason you don't really see worms, even when you're just like walking down the street, is because they want to be in dark, moist places.
Yeah.
And they're really, really easy. Like you can leave them alone for a couple of months as long as it's not too hot. And if they have enough food, like they're easier than like, they're honestly easier to keep than plants. Like I've had plants that need more attention than my worms.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And also when I got worms, the first time that I got them, I was living in a house and I had 3 roommates, and my roommates, they were like, hey, one of them was like, if this gets out of hand, you get one chance. If this gets like really bad, your one chance is over. There are no second chances. We're not doing this. And I was like, okay. And I had never ever done anything like that before. I had not even regular composted.
Okay.
And we never had a problem.
That's great. Honestly, it sounds like my perfect
And it doesn't
pet.
smell.
But
Yeah.
okay, that's a good point as well. It sounds like my perfect pet. It doesn't smell. It doesn't require much attention. You know, that's me. I mean,
No, they really are.
yeah. Okay, that's a good investment. Okay, cool. So, bit different style of question. So, tell me one thing about climate change that makes you laugh.
Ooh,
It could be even a meme like that someone else did. Obviously.
Oh, okay. If we're talking memes, I have this meme and I'll have to send it to you
Yeah.
where I feel like there's been this collective pipeline from like straws to like anti-capitalism.
Yeah.
And like there's this meme that I made where Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, he's like a little baby. And then it's like me when I thought that climate change was all about like recycling straws and
Yeah.
like, you know, riding bikes. And then it's like Mr. Krabs, the next one, he's like really old and like stressed out and like he has not aged well. And then it's like
Yeah.
memes when I learn about like capitalism, racism, like environmental injustice, like the
Yeah.
connections between like all kinds of stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You just go down this pipeline, you're like paper straws, and then next thing you know, you're like learning about how like neighborhoods have been like left out, and you're like, how did I get here? How did I not know? You know?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's a different perspective, let's say. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. That's good to change it then, I guess. But so what about, tell me one fun thing people can do to fight climate change other than following your memes, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a couple things. First, I would say vermicomposting is actually really fun. Like
Yeah.
going through that process and
Yeah.
seeing like your food turn into compost and then
Yeah.
figuring out like where to put it. Cause you don't even need a garden. You could just start sprinkling it around anywhere in the
Okay,
city.
cool.
Like, yeah,
All right.
if
In
you
a
see
park.
dirt, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the soil still needs nutrients. You could drop it anywhere you see a plant at all, and it would be helpful.
That's cool.
And it's a really great way to get kids involved. I also want to say composting in general. It doesn't have to be vermicomposting. Like it's a very passive process. So
Yeah.
like sometimes people think about, oh, like when they think about habits, it's like I either have to start doing something or I have to start giving up something.
Yeah.
And like giving up is usually like giving up plastic straws, habits, etc. But
Yeah.
if you're going to start doing something, I think composting is like a really, really easy passive way that has like a pretty good impact because
Yeah.
of the methane that gets released.
Yeah, it's a low maintenance job, really. I mean, you just throw in a bin and then nature does the magic, really.
And I also want to say I have a very tiny one bedroom apartment.
Okay.
With like no patio, no balcony, no backyard. I live in like a little box. And I'm fully compost. It doesn't smell. People don't know. If I don't tell people, they never even know that they're there.
Okay, that's a good point, to be honest. You know, I would have doubted myself on this, to be honest. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, I trust you. Cool. So, okay, so if you could you come up with one joke about climate change? Any joke, really?
Oh my God, a stand-up comedy.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, not for everybody. But you know, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. You know, okay, impromptu is always a tricky one. So you can come. You know, you can come back to me on that if you feel the pressure. It's all right.
I'm trying to think. The thing is too is I recently went to like a climate stand-up comedy thing.
Okay.
And they were doing it, and I actually gave notes to a guy, and I was like, "Your joke was funny, but it would have been this much funnier if you got it like scientifically accurate." And all you had to do was change one detail. And
Wow.
he was like, "Oh my God, I wish I knew that." And I'm trying to remember what I told him, but it was like a month ago. Oh.
Okay, that's fine. But, you know, it's good. It's fun, actually. This is actually fun. You know, you telling the guy, you know, oh, you should have done that. That's actually quite fun.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was he doing a set about? He was doing something about like animals and like plants that they're like symbiotic relationship or something like that. And I think I told him to go from like a lion to an elephant. Oh, I think he was talking about carbon sequestration and stuff like that. And he just kind of threw in a random animal, and I was like, actually, there is a relationship between elephants, trees, and carbon sequestration. So
elephant,
like,
oh wow,
yeah,
you got me curious now. What's the do you know? I mean, is the elephant in the room?
I do.
Oh well, okay.
It is. So what it is basically elephants, they go after trees that are like a little bit less dense apparently. So when they're like taking down trees with their trunk, I don't think that they necessarily know this tree is like it's storing more carbon in it. But like when they started researching what trees, they actually realized they started leaving the trees that were more carbon dense. So they start making room for trees that like can absorb more carbon in their like trunks and everything. Which was like a really interesting like
weird
fact.
Interesting.
And also whales are like a really huge source of carbon sequestration in the ocean, because when they die they sink to the bottom. When they sink to the bottom, they take all that with them. And apparently because there's been so much whale populations, if we upped those, that would actually be a method to sequester more carbon in the ocean.
I didn't know about whales, but I didn't know about this elephant's property, magic, okay, searching for carbon. That's cool. Okay, right. So from question to quiz, so more question then coming your way. Right, and it's basically what I call "Who Wants to Be Climate Aware" quiz. So no, there is no money involved, no millions, nothing. Just the glory. I know. The budget is limited. Sorry. All right. So first question. You got 3 options for each question. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So the first question is, what is the carbon footprint of posting 1,000 memes on Instagram equal to? So charging nearly 20 smartphones, charging nearly 20 electric pottery wheels, or charging nearly 20 electric cars?
Oh man. Okay, I know it's not the phones because I'm thinking about the data centers and and even just the battery for my phone. I've definitely charged it more than 20 times. The pottery wheels, pottery wheels do take up an okay amount. Oh man. I'm gonna say the cars only because of the data centers that they would have to be stored on like Instagram.
Okay, you are the very scientific approach. I can tell you that you're not a scientist, but you put in like your scientific approach, to analyze and stuff. But probably that wasn't very it is science based, but you could have probably adopted an artistic way. But it was the smartphones basically. Yeah.
Oh,
the data center point makes a lot of sense, but in this case, Okay, next question. Yeah. Who said, don't fall for the scam? Fossil fuels are natural and amazing. Right. Option number 1, Ariel Maldonado after smoking too much cannabis. Option number 2, Ariel Maldonado in an Instagram meme published on Fossil Fools Day. Option number 3, Republican member of the American Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh my God, I'm gonna say Marjorie Taylor Greene because no amount of weed would make me think that way. And I say that as someone who does like weed, so I know for a fact it's never made me switch up my position.
Fair enough. You got right this time. Okay, cool. All right, last question. Yeah. So, what is eco-ableism? Discrimination towards whoever is not able to laugh at climate memes. Discrimination towards whoever have disabilities that happens in environmental activism. Discrimination towards whoever is not able to appreciate the climate change is causing ecological disasters.
I believe it's C.
Unfortunately,
No, is it B?
Is B. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry. You said, sorry, in my head. Okay, yeah. Discrimination against anyone who cannot participate. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You are
Well,
absolutely right.
It's fine. Well, okay. Well, thanks for participating. You've done well.
Yeah.
You've done well. And that's the end of this Clamor for Fun episode. Ariel, thanks you so much for your fun contribution.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun being here.
Thanks a lot. And of course, thanks to whoever tuned in today. Next episode will be in a month or so as usual. In the meantime, remember to fight climate change one laugh at a time. Ciao. Ciao, Ariel.
Bye.